Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us this evening. This is the beginning of a very intensive weekend. We will have over 20 scholars and artists and people joining us from all around the world and giving lectures and talks and workshops. So I hope you will stay with us not only tonight, but also tomorrow and the day after. I will recommend you grabbing one of our leaflets or going onto our website to check the program. And today we have 3 different talks. In order of appearance, first Joanna Murzyn speaking about the ecology of internet and data. And then we have Vanessa Graf, who will speak about infrastructure of internet and what it means really that there's a materiality of the cloud. And later on we will have the collective Grow Your Own Cloud that will speak about storage of data in the DNA.
So I have a great pleasure to introduce Joanna Murzyn. She was also having a guided tour through our exhibition 2 weeks ago.
And I have another one on the last day of the 16.
On 16. Yeah, on 16. So for those who are interested, please join us for the next guided tour by Joanna, because the first one was like really great, and I heard like a lot of wonderful opinions about your point of view on this exhibition. So just introducing Joanna, she's a philosopher by education, but what is important that she's a founder and initiator of Digital Ecology Institute. And this topic of relations between new technologies and ecology in the context of our exhibition and our program is very important. So I'm really happy that she agreed to join and to share her experience with us. This institute is specialized in digital ecological audit, measurements and optimization of digital products. She's also a propagandist, as she says, of decentralized solutions based on peer-to-peer protocols. And this is also one of the topics that probably Joanna will talk a little bit in a moment, but we will also follow this theme tomorrow morning, talking about blockchains and also decentralized actors. So I would like to invite you as well for Saturday morning. And just last thing, that Joanna is also an author of an essay titled Digital Ecology Innovation Born Out of a Chaos, that is available on our website in our resources. So later on, if you would like to read more on Joanna's ideas and development, so you can download the text as well. Thank you very much, and I leave the floor to Joanna.
Thank you so much. Woo! Hello, it's me. So today I'm going to share with you some thoughts and facts and numbers on the ownership of the mysterious internet. Because without a doubt, most of us are currently connected. Bartek, I'm talking to you. And I don't want to fight for your attention, so please stay focused. And we are a very privileged group in a society. You have to be aware of that, because still about 30% of the people in the world do not have an access to the internet, to the stable internet connection. So, and mostly, of course, in the global south. And so, please keep that in mind, that most of the problems, most of the issues which I'm going to describe in the next 40-45 minutes will address the challenges that are significant reinforce the changes of economics, gender, and radical inequality. So, because the internet, which emits 50% more greenhouse gases than the whole airline industry, just to give you like the scale to compare, that still like 80% of the people on the planet did not even have a chance to show up on the airplane. So as you can see, those problems are problems of a privileged group of the people, of the society. So, but before I begin, a small disclaimer, this presentation, as you can see, was created in a small file philosophy. What does it mean? I want to through this action, I want to pay your attention and to the environmental conscious digital design, and which stand for, first of all, of data transparency and low hardware exploitation, and care toward your attention and concentration. So for this occasion, I also decided to announce a small contest for you, just to encourage you to participate a bit. And I encourage you to guess the weight of this presentation. Like, what is the final weight of this file that I'm presenting to you, and within an accuracy to the 1 kilobyte, and the person who will come closest will win the flash drive, which I have here. And on this flash drive, you have installed an ethical operating system based on Linux. And so if you want to switch from Apple or Windows, I'm here to help. So I'm getting the bets, who is in, who would like to participate in the contest, and who would like to guess what is the weight of this presentation. On the last slide, I will tell you the exact weight of this file. Who's in? Yeah, now we are guessing. I'm getting the best, and on the last slide, I'm gonna show you the exact number, exact weight of this file. Okay. What's your name? Okay. 8 gigabytes from Julia. Who get more? Who get less? 3. Okay. Remember, this presentation was made in assumption of small file philosophy. All media was compressed, and I was using only system funds. 3 what? Okay. But Josh already bet 3 gigabytes, so you have to, you can, okay. Who give less? Who give less? Come and give it to me, give it to me. Remember that you can win operating system. It's based on Linux, it's ethical, and it's good. It can have less than 1. I mean, I don't know. Just guess. Kilobytes or megabytes, but that will be really small. Okay. 64 of what? Okay. Bartosz. And who's in? Who would like to join the competition? Okay. What's your name? Oh, that's actually the good question. So there are 45 slides and 1 small MP3 file included. Oh, kilobytes. Okay. Anyone else would like to join? 8,000 what? Kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think we've got, but someone said 0.8 megabytes. That was you, or who was that? Okay. Okay. I have only 1 flash drive, so there's only 1 winner. Okay. So, anyone else? 53. Okay. What's your name? Oh my God, I turned off the computer. Sorry. Yeah, it's funny because some of you said it's 8 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes. You said you said below the 1 megabyte. So it's impressive how differently you perceive the amount of the size of the presentation. So. Okay, I have to turn on the computer. Actually, this operating system that you're gonna get, I get it on this computer, so it's quite fresh. I'm quite fresh on it. But after the presentation, I'm more than happy, to give you the look. And because it's really, I choose a really cool one. It's very familiar to macOS, and it's really well designed. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it. So, the internet, the mysterious internet, we are all connected. We post every day, thousands, millions, billions of posts online, interact with each other through, let's say, illusion of connection, because those interaction likes, smiles, and other stuff are illusion. Those are not connection. Those are the data exchange between different nodes. And I got notes on this computer. Okay. It's really funny because we are all connected, but in this culture of being always connected, we didn't have much time to even consider if this system that we are part of, actually that we are creating with our attention, with our resources, we are happy to be part of it. Is it a good system for us to operate in? And also the internet is kind of invisible for us. We only see a small piece of a bigger system. And to give you the, because I'm gonna switch the slides. I don't know if you heard about the brown cow paradox. So that's the paradox when people assume that the chocolate milk came from brown cow. So so that's it's perfectly show the level of consciousness of our society. And in terms of internet, it's even more complex, right? So I can easily understand that people when they see brown cow, and they compare that to the milk, and they say, okay, maybe it gives brown milk chocolate, right? But when it comes to the internet, it's very complicated, it's very complex, as you can, because currently, only 24 million people globally knows code, understand code, which is the common language of machines, which means the 0.003% of the people globally understand code, and the rest of it is blind sheep which are following their design and development decision, which is highly, actually, it's dangerous and leave a huge space for their manipulation. To prove you that we have a real problem in terms of understanding what machines are, what kind of a role they play in our society, I will play you a short. We got, sorry, przepraszam, puszczam dźwięk. Okay.
Okay, double click on my computer. I can see your computer. No. Click on my computer on your computer. How can I click on your computer from my computer? There is an icon labeled my computer on your computer. Double click it. What the hell? What is your computer doing on my computer? Double click on your computer. Which icon do I have to click? My computer. Tell me, where do you live? I go to your house to click on your computer. Oh my God!
that was the recording of a guy who was like complaining that he didn't understand what my computer icon means, and he was trying to describe them that he has to find it on his computer, but he rather understand that he has to find his computer. So that now you can see that like the level of understanding of machines and what ability or what actually they give us is really low. So getting back to slides. So keep in mind next time that like everything, all the machines that surrounding us, and only this amount of people are actually allowed to, you know, dive deep into them and understand how they operate. And that in the results when you talk to the people, when you talk to like random people, they see internet only through lens, only few companies, big tech companies, and actually Mark Zuckerberg is not the internet. For most of the people, mostly old ones, they think that the Google.com is the internet. It's just the peak of an iceberg, right? And there is something bigger and something bigger behind that. And just to also give you kind of a scale to show you how huge is the ownership of the digital sphere of a selected tech companies. Microsoft, for example, owns like the 77% of the operating system market, and Apple, for example, this company owns almost 30% of the mobile market devices. It's for example, it's very dangerous, especially in India, where Google owns like 96% of the. They share the largest. It's only one app where you can look for the information, and try to look in Google for information, for example, about the consciousness, about the other different stuff that are some kind of. They are not coherent with a current predominant system, and also because the egos of those people and those owners of those companies are huge, and they said that they actually creating in the internet and the future direction of this of its development. But the truth is that the internet and like the idea of being interconnected, idea of being part of the bigger network has been around like for thousands of years, because it's called macro-Bayesian network, and it's a kind of mutual symbiotic association between fungi and plants, and the trees and other living species are already doing it. They're already operating. They're already living in the networks. And when you can walk in the forest, you can see that plants are kind of provide habitat for one another. They exchange information, and the fungi here play a crucial role, because they, through their roots, they connect and pass substances for other organisms. So they need to grow, and that is the base for something which is called Wood Wide Web, and this kind of some of the scientists call it the language of the trees, and the trees and forest share resources and exchange information using an underground network. And I think this idea for the internet, where we exchange information, where we actually help each other to thrive, it is much more sexy than the idea that is proposed by companies from Silicon Valley. And they exchange water, they exchange carbon, and it's very interesting that because also they exchange information, they transfer information with each other, and so every plant inform each other plant of kind of disease that it's spread among the network. So another species can send out toxin to kill its rivals. So as you can see, it's a very comprehensive collaboration between different species. And I really like this concept, I really like this idea, and next time when you're gonna take a walk in a forest, remember about it, that this is more than true that you're walking on a really huge kind of proof of concept for our current internet. Some of the scientists call this wood-wide nets as they see it like kind of podobieństwo. Dziękuję. Similarity for underwater with underwater cables. So it's really cool because what is network? Network is we also have our, but I'm gonna switch a slide because I want to talk about this one. What is network? Network is when we have nodes which are connected with each others, and the power to communicate is the source, is the heart of every social structure and its dynamics. So, and the communication and exchange of the information is shaping the human minds. It's shaping our minds. It's shaping how we collaborate with each other. It's shaping our culture and our reality. And through this communication, we interact with a social environment and natural environment. So please keep in mind that those nodes and basically us are actually the heart of the internet, because on the top of that we've got the whole aspect of the internet, which is called information and communication technology. Technology is just a tool for nodes, for us who willing to exchange information, who willing to have a contact with each other. And so I gave you the example of this nature-based network, and right now we actually operate in a more technical version of this network, and it's based on infrastructure, and there is certain level of this infrastructure that allows us to communicate with each other. We've got, of course, data centers with which Vanessa will describe later on in details the physicality and how we can interact with them here, even in Warsaw. Or maybe you would like to guess where is the closest data center here from us? Where is it? Where is the closest data center? Okay, you were on a trip with Vanessa. No cheating, please. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So they are like this infrastructure actually is becoming like the integral part of our environment, and I think it's also a crucial question to ask ourselves: who is building for us this infrastructure? Who is building for us this? Who provide us those tools that allows us, to build these social structures? And I have a thesis that they are psychopaths. And Freud already described this anal relativeness. And I got some points here, and I think you're gonna find some matches here with those guys from Big Tech, that they are and they're keeping distance and they are suspicious of another people, well, where are they? They're not with us. They are impulsive aggression and sadism, mostly social, well, their hostility, and then they're very oppressive. They have a tendency toward tyranny and dictatorship. Well, we've got some matches here. And they have inability to act spontaneously. They have a really high level of productivity and creativity. And that mostly affects to the Bill Gates because they have no ability to philanthropy and the ability to cope in a real life. So next time think twice about those who provide us the tools to build the structure, the social structure, to build us who are actually interact on in a way how we perceive the reality. And the fact is that, I don't know if you know the person, he called Rashkov, and his media criticism, and he hosts podcast Team Human. I highly recommend you to check it later. And he recently announced that he's publishing the book, Surviving of the Richest, and because those guys here that have for sure have something, they had anal issues when they were kids. I feel really sorry for them, and but let's move on. So they actually don't care about us and don't care about the environment, and I see something similar in a history, and it's called the sanitation dilemma, when noble and very rich families they spend their vacation in their beautiful estates, and unfortunately most of those estates did not have working plumbing. So the idea here was that they had so much fun, they extract everything, like waste everything around, but they clog the pipes to the limit. They leave the waste behind and go next to do the same with another beautiful estate, because they have money, they have power to do it. And I see the same here with the people who are actually give us the tool and who are creating and shaping a world and the internet for us today. And I don't want to be like, very skeptic, because I really believe in technology, and I think it's not the problem with technology itself, because it's a very powerful tool, but it's a problem on how we use this technology, right? Because remember I told you about this brown cow paradox, right? We are not educated enough. They gave us tools, they gave us toys, and without any prescription how actually we should use it in a way to be more conscious about the environment and treat each other with more respect. So I believe that technology will have, and it has the power to solve most of our problems, but first of all we have to learn how to use it in an ethical way. And this exhibition is talking about a lot about the algorithms, right? And the fact is that the algorithms and the machines, the quality is determined by the feed they receive, and what they are fed with data, and who produce data. We do. And what kind of a data we produce most of the time is useless. Like, let's guys face it, right? As you can see, like on the on the right, there is this is pointless post. It's just a girl who posts like a fly on a foot on a dirty carpet to let people know that she's met a friend in Berlin. What kind of a value it brings to the reality? And that's the common type of of the data that is posted currently online. And at the end we are mad at each other that why there are so many algorithms and why they are keep like manipulating our behaviors if we are feeding them, if we are giving them data on which they are able to do it. So my point here is that it's our fault actually, because we are part of it. We are part of this game. We are playing with their cards. We are playing with their toys, and we are actually feeding the system that allows them to grow and to exploit the earth and the natural environment to the limits, and to fly away and leave us like this big, beautiful estates during the summer vacation, like those rich families been doing years ago. So yeah, and I think it's like, because it's really good to look at some kind of, it's good to look at issues and challenges from a global perspective, and it's also good to know that we play a crucial role in this game. That's why I also stand for vegan algorithm movement, and I really encourage you to treat algorithms also as you could treat yourself, and feed them with the quality data, and think twice next time when you're gonna post something, when you're gonna download an app on your phone. Double check what kind of information you provide to this app, because at the end also the amount of the data require infrastructure which has a massive demand for the energy. So that's important. But that was the one side of the story. If you're gonna look wider and dive deeper and be curious, that's what I always encourage you and everyone around to do. You're gonna interact with in China, and that's for sure, because they actually. They play the crucial role here. I mean, under cover of those all beautiful apps and everything, this phone that's taking me picture right now, under cover of that, their resources. But I really would like to point here that by creating this slide and making it all in red, I broke the rule of ethical digital design that I set up for myself at the beginning, because the red color gives you kind of unconscious signal that something is wrong here, that you have to pay your attention here. And the red color in your screens is achievable with the use of European mineral. And this mineral is used only it is used only to display the color red on your screens, and that's all. And later on, I'm going to show you, tell you a bit more about the huge damages that China are doing in terms of extracting the minerals and resources, because at the end we can talk about the data, we can talk about algorithms and iPhones and other stuff, but we need resources, we need crucial and very they are crucial, actually, minerals. So imagine that this also, we are in a very interesting stage in terms of human history. We are switching toward more green and sustainable energy, but this switch has a massive you have to pay massive price for that, and we will have to pay in raw materials. And till 2035, we will have to extract more raw materials, mostly from China, than mankind has done that before in 70,000 years. And each year we extract like 2 billion tons of various type of metals. And let's say, for example, cobalt, which is like the crucial mineral in each lithium battery, the demand for it will grow 24 times in the next 15 years. So imagine how much of this resource is going to be needed in terms of, to following this assumption of green revolution. Yeah. So this computer here, beside the fact that it has a new operating system based on Linux, I made some changes in it, and I have to upgrade it a bit, because this model is from 2010, and I have to change. I have to update chip with memory. It's RAM one. Each chip has 1 gigabyte right now. It's priceless. I really would like you to guess what is the price right now for this one chip. We got 20 złotych. Who got more? Okay, 1 gigabyte. Anyone else would like to guess? 50? 20 groszy. 20 groszy for one chip with one memory. 1 RAM of memory. And it's worth to know that like the production of a chip which weighs 2 grams generates about 2 kilograms of materials, waste of materials. So like imagine the scale, and imagine like what is the price of this chip right now. Okay, it is 10 years old, right? Okay, I understand, I get it, but still, it's so unsustainable, and there's no balance in this field, and it's very, very alarming, and and I think it's also caused by the fact that the digital sphere were designed in isolation from reality. And because it's floating, it's very how to say it? It's screaming for our attention, but also it covers like the real environmental cost. And we are using like a crazy amount of the minerals, of the materials, and only like the 16 types of the minerals are currently in use, and only 18 of them are recycled in more than 50%. And in 2013, like the Europol, the electronic waste. Mentioned that electronic waste trade is a major environmental threat. So it's a big issue that no one is actually talking about it, because it's mostly happening in China, and most of that happens under the red cover. Yeah, and it's all about actually the future of a design. The future of digital design will be all about rare earth elements. And it's also worth to mention here that currently China also using those minerals as a kind of a tool to build a global dominance, and also, it's also the outcome of the fact that the silicon different way. So, like say this chip is made in China, right? And I can give it to you. You can, and this drive is also came from this computer, and this one was made in Philippines. And so, mogę ci też podać, jest podał dalej? So the those semiconductors, which are like the heart of each electronic device, which are implemented inside of those memories chips. Without them, like neither your laptop, your smartphone would not exist. And so each time, next time you're gonna turn off your computer, boot your device, consider that they are only working due to those critical small components fulfilling and selective role of conductor. They just isolate the electronic impulse. And it's also good to know that like the assembling line of those components is spread globally. And so it's really hard to to follow and to actually follow the real price, because let's say like extracting I got a number here just to make sure. Okay, never mind. Like extracting like the tons of the minerals also is responsible for wasting a crazy amount of water. So it's again about the resources. And China actually, they are covering those coasts, and currently they've been they're like 70% from about of the underwater global underground water resources are somehow poisoned with outcome from the mining. So that's a really huge issue. And of course they manipulate with the price. And I think the people who are Tesla owners, are anyone here who owns Tesla? Would like to give me a right? No? Okay. They could feel it because of the lithium, the growing the price of the price of lithium grows like significantly, and that also affected the price of the Tesla, and that was crazy. And getting back to those processors in Apple and other like digital devices. So let's imagine that this processor is designed in California. They send the digital file to China. China get the resources from Africa, and the circuit is manufactured in Taiwan. And then it goes go to the flight back to the Philippines or Vietnam, and where those parts are placed in iPhone, and then this assembled iPhone traveling back to Europe or to United States, and where it's sold in hundreds of pieces, and it's crazy. And we've lost control actually, because it's. We are not able to fully track the whole process and the whole supply chain of electronic devices. Of course, there was a project. I hope that most of you are aware of it, called Fairphone. But they said that it's currently it's impossible to develop like a fully ethical hardware nowadays. So. We're living in a very hard times. And so what we can do about it? When I sometimes I feel like a weirdo when I talk to the people that I have, like, like I record my stuff and interviews on a very old equipment. My iPhone is broken, and I'm using like a computers from 2020, and I feel like I'm preaching like I'm getting back to the 90s when everyone were super excited about the plastic, and everything was in plastic. And but right now, like after 15 years, we have a massive problem with plastic, and right now, like everyone is trying to do something with that. And I feel the same when I'm talking about the technology nowadays. And I think it's really important to be more aware of like this interdependencies, global interdependencies in terms of resources, in terms of that each action you take online, each your decision actually affect very huge global change. So because currently this whole information and communication technologies, those tools that allows us to interact with each other, they consume 3.9% of global electricity. And this is the number from ICTU report. But you know what? I'm more than sure it's more. And that's the number that from the research, from the investigation that they were allowed, they had an access to the data. So what consumes less energy? Your brain, our brains. And what I would really encourage us to do, to switch off the brain, because it's not our fault, of course. I mean, like this, everything around us, the whole ecosystems were designed in a way that they somehow turn off our consciousness, turn off our, I don't know what else, but a lot of stuff. And I really recommend to. I mean, I'm also trying to do it myself, because all the time I'm looking for excuse. Okay, maybe next time I'm gonna read off this application because it's useless. I mean, come on, there are on the market. They are like every day there are some kind of a new innovation that give us the idea, the hope that they're gonna solve kind of a problem that does not exist. That's gonna tell us that whenever we need to buy new stuff, whenever we need to do something, like it's much better, it's much more, even from this environmental perspective, just to use the brain, it's only 10 watts, and that's all. And that's a really small amount of the energy, comparing that to the whole system. And to do that, it's really important to be aware that most of our interaction with technology is based on R or A, on habits. I mean, whenever, for example, you feel bored, you feel unsecured, this is a trigger that leads to trigger to open the new loop of a habit. But the first step in a way to to break this loop is to being aware of the fact that we have a problem, and of the fact that I want to do something with that. It all starts with us, and all starts with those nodes that are part of that are creating the network. And what I also would recommend, because it's really hard to get rid of a habit, it's better to replace it with a new behavior. So what I also doing myself. And this computer is a real example, a proof of that it's better to go from a high-tech to low-tech, and to look for the low-tech solution, to be more conscious in a way how much energy our equipment consume, and what is the Okay, never mind. And at the end, I think it's also super important to remember that we are all humans. We are part of the internet. We are actually the internet. And we have to remember that in this overstimulated technical war that was creating for us by the psychopaths, remember to to stay human, right? Because those tools they humanize us. They are giving us the illusion of connection. It's not a connection, it's exchange of data. And I think it's good to keep that in mind, because we are the internet, and we are creating it, and we give the power to the internet, we feed the internet, and all the infrastructure, they are just the tools. But you have to realize that power relations are rooted in infrastructure. So we have the tools, we have everything to begin to build our own infrastructure. Go upstairs and check for look for the network of trust, which aim to actually achieve that. So we've got everything. Everything is here, and it's a matter of our decision in which direction we want to go. If we want to still be part of the massive, crazy, I don't know how to call it, but it's a pure definition of evilness, and or rather we want to build something on our own. Of course, it takes an effort. It took me 3 days to install Linux on this computer. But guess how much I paid to upgrade the drive and the RAM memory? I put a new solid-state drive here, and I updated RAM with 8 gigabytes. How much I pay for that in total? Who give less? Who give more? No, it was no, I bought it second hand, yeah.
But you mean you pay for the work or for the work?
No, I pay only for hardware. How much I pay for that? 250, 200. Okay, 85 zloty. You see it? 120. And I think it's enough, because I'm just what I'm doing. I'm only writing on it, browsing online, and that's all, and doing presentation for you. And so that's all enough. I think it's a matter of, first of all, ask yourself for what I need this. Because recently I've been working on a low emission website. If you're interested in this type of services, call me. And I went to App Store, and so to check how this website looked on a different resolution, and they had 15 different type of computers and laptops, and I was crazy, my God, it's too much, seriously. And so they give me a lot of new options, softwares and apps, and I'm asking, what do I need it for? I mean, I just want to write sometimes some stuff, develop website, that's all. So that's a matter of, of not being a product, but choosing a product that fits your needs. And, okay, so that's the final slide. Okay, so let me just scroll to the top, and we're gonna check who is the winner. Nie. Nie, wiecie co, bo przez przypadek wyłączam komputer, bo tu jest komand, a tu nie ma. I wyłączył się i nie zapisały mi się ten. Ale nic się nie stało. Ja pamiętam też. Ja wszystko pamiętam. No, to teraz słuchajcie. Proszę bardzo. Nie chodzi mi o jakby level I mean, you see, you assume that it was like 8 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, and that is the total weight of this presentation. Kilobytes. Comic Sans. That's the systemic font, so it's already on my computer, so I don't have to like download anything from the. But we can discuss it if you want. I mean, okay. So I guess you were close. You were close as well. You were. But I remember you were 0.8, and you were like the similar. You were so you have to like fight for who's gonna take the flash drive. Don't look for the excuse. Okay, so are you okay? Woo! Congratulations! We got the winner!
Okay, thanks so much.
That's all.
Anybody has any questions? Joanna, do you want to tell us a little bit about Linux? Because you said it's worth switching to, so I don't know if everybody knows what that means. So maybe you could just say a couple of words, why is it worth it?
First of all, it does not require that much of memory on your laptop or computer, whatever you choose. So we can use it on older models. And because, for example, let's compare that to the Windows operating system. It's updating all the time, and so it's require more and more memory and more energy and more resources on your computer. And with this installation, you can set up the password, and your hard drive will be fully encrypted. And it's ethical. I mean, the code is open, so there is a community around it, around this project. So you can ask them if you need any type of help. You can suggest them what kind of option you need for the further development. And I think the beauty of it is that it's community based. And it's not spying you, and it's not selling your data anywhere to third parties. So that's why I think it's more ethical solution, and really it's worth to install it on an older model, so you can give it a second life.
Okay, thank you.
And I get this computer with me, so if anyone here would like to take a look and like familiar yourself with Linux, and I'm more than happy to share with you my computer. Thank you.
Yeah. If there is, yeah, Bartek has got a question, so.
Yeah, I've got a super concrete question about the mineral that is responsible for producing the red color on the screen.
Europium, Europium.
It's europium. Okay.
Yeah. And it's
but
like
just to track, you know, okay.
And currently it's less than 1% of it's recycled. So
less than 1.
Yeah, yeah. But I seen a research recently, and there's a lot of research, and actually Japan is investing a lot in this field, and they've been trying to recycle and extract the europium from old LED screens from the computers with the usage of algae. So I think there's a beauty of nature that they are actually trying to help us to solve this problem, but the problem is more complex because the switch that it will be there will be a switch in terms of the powers, because if we will extract more minerals from like the resources that are lying on the street basically. Then we will not need that much of China resources, then it might affect some tensions, so yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We have 10 minutes break now, so you can join us 1:15 for Vanessa Graf.
One more question. I wanted to ask what kind of educational background is useful, or in general, like maybe your background that is useful in that kind of work you do, like, I don't know, designing this low emission website. What is good to know, or what is good to like work on and try to learn to be able to do what you do?
I believe first of all it's important to have like very strong ethics, and because I've been working in the UX field, in web development and other stuff, but then I also been part of a few environmental and sustainable projects, and I just compared that knowledge, and I think it's a quite new and fresh field, and so I think it's good, to work on your own product and own project and try to make it more environmental friendly. There are a lot of resources online, and just to be curious and never give up.
Well, so feel free to ask questions to Joanna during the break if you want to know something more about the Digital Ecology Institute and like other projects that she's involved in. Thank you. Raz, dwa.